Tonight, policy in focus.
Hey, Nevada!
After a whirlwind start, Vice President Kamala Harris begins to lay out details of her vision for America.
We will raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
While former President Donald Trump doubles down on his attack strategy, and his campaign accuses Harris of copycat tactics. And an exclusive interview with President Biden.
We're living through history.
We really are.
He tells our Robert Costa why he ultimately decided not to seek re-election.
You make this historic decision. Tell me the story.
Also tonight, Russia's state of emergency. Putin's forces on the defense as Ukraine launches the largest attack into Russia since World War II. Plus, Storm Watch, the latest on what's developing in the Atlantic Ocean that could become Ernesto. Also, stripped, the 4-second controversy that cost American gymnast Jordan Childs her bronze medal. And later, now you see it, now you don't. The private Los Angeles Magic Club, where the best trick is just getting in the door.
That's what's so great about the Magic Castle. It's Disneyland for adults. Everybody's a kid here.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Sunday. We begin tonight with the race for the presidency. This weekend, Vice President Kamala Harris is courting West Coast donors at a major fundraiser in San Francisco. The Trump campaign had no public events today or yesterday. With the election just 86 days away, can you believe that? We are now starting to see a shift in how these candidates are campaigning. Skylar Henry leads us off tonight from the White House. Skylar.
Hey, Jerika, good to see you. Yeah, these dueling campaigns are leaning into their policy proposals and their promises in an attempt to sway voters, especially in those battleground states. The Trump-Vance ticket went on the offensive this weekend, slamming Vice President Harris's Nevada play from their campaign playbook.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America, including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
In a flurry of criticisms, former President Donald Trump posted on social media, claiming Harris's pitch was plagiarized, saying the theft comes after the culinary union endorsed his no tax on tips plan. On reproductive rights, Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice presidential nominee, says he's standing with Trump, telling Face the Nation he wants abortion access left to the states.
When states and voters in those states make decisions, we of course want the states and the federal government to respect those decisions.
Today, Democratic vice presidential nominee Tim Walz pounced on the comments.
Whether you'd make the same decision as someone else, just mind your own damn business.
President Biden talked exclusively about the state of the election on CBS Sunday morning, his first sit-down interview since withdrawing from the race, reflecting on the core reason behind his decision.
A number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races.
The most important thing we have to do is to win the election, to sustain his legacy, and to have the legacy be to do even more in the presidency and the vice presidency of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
For the first time, a new poll out today finds that Harris narrowly leads Trump when it comes to handling the economy, outperforming Biden. However, more voters say they would be much better off financially under a Trump presidency than a Harris presidency. The vice president plans on rolling out her economic policy agenda this week. Jerika.
All right, Skylar Henry at the White House. For the first time, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed his forces have moved into Russian territory for battle. In his nightly address, Zelensky said the surprise cross-border offensive in Russia's Kursk region in his country's fight to push the war out into the aggressor's territory. CBS's Ian Lee has the new developments tonight.
Russian planes bombing Russian territory, targeting Ukrainian troops. 6 days ago, Kyiv launched the largest attack into Russia since World War II, reportedly pushing up to 20 miles into the Kursk region. It caught the Kremlin off guard. This video, taken by a Ukrainian unit, reportedly shows a large number of Russian soldiers surrendering. Another online post appears to show a destroyed Russian military convoy. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky broke his silence yesterday, saying the operation is to restore justice and to push the war on the aggressor's territory. But if you believe Moscow's top general, everything is under control. Russia declared a state of emergency in the affected region, while also releasing videos of it striking back, like this one, reportedly hitting a Ukrainian tank. At a Security Council meeting on Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin downplayed the invasion, calling the fight a counterterrorism operation. But local Russian residents posted their own videos begging the Kremlin for help. Moscow says it's evacuated more than 76,000 civilians out, while moving heavy armor and missile launchers in. On the other side of the border in Ukraine, Russia continues its indiscriminate attacks. On Friday, a missile hit a supermarket near the front line in the Donetsk region, killing more than a dozen people. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
To the Middle East, where today Hamas said it won't take part in any further negotiations with Israel. Instead, it called the U.S. and other Gaza war mediators to work towards implementing the ceasefire plan that President Biden first unveiled in May. This comes the day after an Israeli airstrike at a school complex housing displaced families that killed at least 100 people, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Our Deborah Patta spoke with the head of the UN agency providing aid to Palestinian refugees in Gaza.
Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, by far. And I've never seen anything like this scale of destruction.
After retiring from the military, Scott Anderson took a UN job in Gaza. He had found his calling.
So all these soft skills that you develop in the military really lend themselves quite well to being a humanitarian. And I find great, satisfaction in helping people. How you doing this morning, Miranda?
He's been in Gaza almost constantly since the war began.
It's almost like being in a dystopian science fiction movie set when you drive around Gaza.
And he's witnessed firsthand the desperate shortage of medical supplies in hospitals overwhelmed with casualties.
You could literally smell the blood in the air. It has a tang to it, if you will. They were trying to clean blood off the floor with water. And a lot of wounds that people could normally get treated and survive would most likely develop sepsis because of the unclean environment.
Keeping civilians safe has become almost impossible. That includes humanitarian workers. Over 400 have been killed. Are you being targeted?
I mean, I hope we're not being targeted is what I would say, although some days it does feel like the humanitarian system is being targeted.
Israel wants to declare UNRWA a terrorist organization after accusing 12 of its staff members of being involved in the October 7 Hamas attack. They were all fired immediately.
You are welcome! Thank you very much. Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
While there have been dark moments for Anderson, there's also joy.
The very best part is that this job is education. I think it's the most important thing we do. It sets the stage for these children to achieve their dreams. And it is, without a doubt, my favorite part of the job is to be with children.
At the end of the day, Palestinians trapped in this war, he says, are no different from Americans.
They have dreams just like we do. They want the best for their children just like we do. They're human beings, just like everybody else is, with the same needs, the same desires, and the same ambitions.
Deborah Patta, CBS News, East Jerusalem.
This week, a new tropical storm will likely develop in the Atlantic as Debbie ends its deadly path. Cities along the East Coast are still cleaning up from some historic flooding. In central Pennsylvania, raging water destroyed a main road in the community of Trout Run. Let's check in with CBS News meteorologist Andrew Kozak for more on what we can expect this week. Andrew.
Yeah, good evening, Jerika. So we have dry conditions, thankfully. Now that Debbie is long gone, that will continue not only into your Monday, but into the week ahead for much of the East Coast. Great news there. Meantime, already focusing on our next group of showers and storms across the Atlantic, it is now potentially Tropical Cyclone 5. And this does have a very good chance now of becoming a developing tropical storm. In fact, even though it's about 850 miles east of the Lesser Antilles, we already have a tropical storm watch in effect for these islands, including Guadeloupe, Montserrat, Antigua, through at least late Tuesday, where we could be looking at this developing. All eyes on that. In the meantime, getting you ready for your Monday. Dry conditions again continue for the East Coast. A couple showers in Florida, really hot across the deep south in Texas. Some storms in the Midwest and the Rockies, and a red flag warning all the way through your Monday for winds and potentially fire danger for the Pacific Northwest. Jerika?
All right, Andrew Kozak, thank you. In tonight's Money Watch, homeowners and home buyers are experiencing some relief. Mortgage rates have started to come down, but many want to know if it's enough to jumpstart the housing market. CBS's Elise Preston takes a closer look.
Home shoppers are getting a boost in buying power now that the average rate on a 30-year mortgage fell to 6.47%, its lowest level in more than a year.
This is going to be your living room.
Some would-be buyers still face a tight housing supply and prices that are out of reach. Housing affordability is particularly tough in Southern California, where Michelle Burson is looking to buy.
We probably should have done this about 5 years ago, but we are those people that waited for the bust to happen, and seemingly it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Many homeowners eager to take advantage of lower rates on 15-year fixed mortgages are rushing to refinance. Applications jumped 16% from last week and nearly 60% from a year ago. The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates next month, which could bring lower mortgages.
At one point, I had 10 clients that were looking to buy, and they wanted to wait for a while.
But you might not want to wait. Experts say there's no magic rate to put out the welcome mat for buyers. Elise Preston, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Today, the artist Banksy unleashed more animal art on London. It depicts a giant fish tank on the glass window of a police booth. It's his 7th animal-themed artwork since Monday. There's no word yet on the message behind this one. Straight ahead on the CBS Weekend News, medal battle. Gymnast Jordan Childs is forced to give back her Olympic bronze, but that may not be the end of her story. Plus, how public health teams are fighting back against climate change and the mosquito population, and the mystery and magic behind a Los Angeles institution. Stay with us. Believe it or not, the Olympic Games in Paris have ended. It has been fun to watch. Overall, Team USA topped the total medal count with 126, followed by China, Great Britain, and France. But America could have had one more. Gymnast Jordan Childs must now return her bronze medal because of a technicality. CBS's Jamie Yukis has the details.
A controversial end to the Games for American gymnast Jordan Childs. The International Olympic Committee stripped her of her bronze medal in the floor exercise. Initially, Childs finished 5th in Monday's competition. Her coach appealed, saying her athletic difficulty score was undercredited and her score was adjusted. But today, Olympic arbitrators ruled the appeal missed the 1-minute deadline. The medal will now be given to Team Romania's Ana Barbosu. USA Gymnastics said they were devastated by the ruling. Teammate Simone Biles wrote on Instagram, "Sending you so much love, Jordan. Keep your chin up. Olympic champ, we love you." The U.S. Olympic Committee plans to appeal. With a nail-biter of an ending, Team USA women's basketball won their 8th consecutive gold medal, defeating host country France 67-66.
Glad the USA came out on top.
Also setting records, the U.S. women's national team.
It's a dream come true to win a gold medal.
In her first major tournament with her players, soccer coach Emma Hayes led the team to secure a record 5th gold medal.
Why is the love and camaraderie of this team so important to you?
Because I think when you enjoy being around each other, when you play well together, in the hardest moments you've got each other's backs. It's just like a family.
Team USA and the Olympic Committee now moves to Los Angeles for the Summer Games in 2028, where Jerika, the mayor, told me after she attended these games, a transportation plan for the notoriously clogged city will be her top priority.
All right, Jamie Yukis covering the Olympics from start to finish. Great job. Thank you. Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, bugging out. One city's fight to squash the mosquito population. Rising temperatures and more intense storms are fueling longer and more active mosquito seasons. That's increasing the risk of mosquito-borne diseases like the West Nile virus. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder follows mosquito control efforts in the nation's biggest city.
Around the pond in Casino Park, Queens, New Yorkers escape the summer heat. But among the trees and marshes, public health teams are hunting for the pests of summer. Vector ecologist Zarina Yusuf straps on a bulky pellet sprayer to kill mosquito eggs. Co-worker Hamilton Simeon lays overnight traps for adult mosquitoes and delivers his haul to the public health lab for testing.
You're transferring those to a tube, and then from there they get sorted by species of mosquito.
When we find a positive sample for West Nile or anything else, we can then increase our mitigation and control methods.
Dr. Ashwin Basan is New York City's health commissioner.
A lot of these viruses are moving further and further north.
So we're sort of becoming more tropical or subtropical.
I'm no weatherman, but that's probably my best guess.
Insect hunters start their work during cooler months, counting hibernating mosquitoes in dark, damp places, like this abandoned military fort in Queens. That census determines where to focus summer mitigation efforts. West Nile virus first came to the Western Hemisphere right here in Queens in 1999. Longer, hotter, more humid summers make for longer mosquito seasons, opening the door for more West Nile virus infections. Carol Wallach was infected with West Nile in the summer of 2022.
I had fever that night. I passed out in urgent care, was taken to the hospital.
In addition to a fever, she had a rash, severe nerve pain, and trouble walking.
I think it took close to 2 weeks before they knew what was wrong with me.
2 years later, Wallach still has limited use of her left arm and cannot drive a car. She wonders about other lingering effects of the virus.
It's an awful disease, and I am one of the very fortunate ones because I'm still here.
And now very scrupulous about using insect repellent during mosquito season, which lasts until the fall. For CBS News, I'm Dr. Celine Gounder in New York.
Well, next on the CBS Weekend News, rare access to the famously private Magic Castle. Finally tonight, a Los Angeles staple has figured out the trick to staying under the radar, but in the spotlight. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti takes us inside the hidden world of the Magic Castle.
Nestled in the Hollywood Hills, there is a mysterious club where the bouncer is an owl. And getting in requires a few choice words.
Open sesame. It's magic.
The doors at the Academy of Magical Arts first opened in 1962. For more than 60 years, Hollywood's elite have coveted one of this town's most exclusive tickets, the Magic Castle.
It's a bucket list destination. People come from all over the world.
And they come to see the magic. The castle has launched the careers of many icons, including Penn and Teller, and a young sleight of hand artist who would later become the king of late night.
How significant is the Magic Castle to the magic community?
It's Carnegie Hall for magicians. It's an honor to be here.
Nick Dopich performs up-close magic at the castle's library bar.
We're going to take a screenshot. But when you take a screenshot, the card doesn't end up on top because that's not the screen, obviously. The screen is, of course, on the... that's right. I forgot. Screenshot doesn't put it on the bottom. Screenshot puts it under my water. That's my fault. That's completely my fault. Yeah, that's my bad. That's what happened. Oh, thank God I saved it. I don't know anyways.
But perhaps the club's best trick is the rare experience it provides for members.
Erin, everyone.
Like Erin Collins and her husband, Chris Velasco.
I used to put on magic shows when I was a kid. When I first learned about the Magic Castle, I thought,
I gotta be a part of that.
We had some friends invite us here. Like, oh yeah, we have to join.
And now they're extending the invite to their friends, like Jared Warrington.
It's just an experience from the minute you walk in the door. I mean, everything is a show. The decor to the food to the magic.
All this magic does not come cheap. Applicants must be sponsored by an existing member, pay an initiation fee of $6,500, and monthly dues. Just make sure to follow the strict dress code.
There's hardly any places in Los Angeles where there is a dress code. It gives a certain patina to the club.
A patina and some old-fashioned fun.
Irma, can you play Claire de Lune?
Like Irma, the ghost piano player. With all things magic, come with an open mind and don't ask too many questions.
That's what's so great about the Magic Castle. It's Disneyland for adults. Everybody's a kid here.
Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, that is the CBS Weekend News for this Sunday. Coming up on 60 Minutes, factory workers give an ownership stake in their company. Until next time, from all of us here, thanks for watching. Have a great night.